Sapwing Orchardrise. The hives tremble with a new frequency, a dissonant hum that wasn't part of the daily pollination symphony. Sapwing Orchardrise felt it in the marrow of his wings before he saw its source. A stranger descended from the clear blue, his carapace the color of burnt copper, his flight pattern erratic and sharp. He landed not on the designated greeting petal but directly on the heart of the central comb, and the garden's gravity-defying bees, creatures of exquisite routine, recoiled in a silent wave of alarm. Sapwing followed the traces left in the stranger's wake, a scent of ozone and distant, unfamiliar pollen clinging to the lavender stalks. He interviewed the sentinels, who spoke of a shimmer in the air around the newcomer, a distortion that made their own navigational senses fray. In the honey stores, a single comb, the one that held the essence of the oldest magnolia, had been subtly altered, its golden sweetness now underpinned by a faint, metallic bitterness. The Council of Elders split into factions. Some, like his old friend Alderwing, argued for immediate expulsion, their buzzing tense with fear. Others were fascinated, drawn to the stranger's promises of stronger nectar and swifter currents. Whispers of a coming blight, one only the copper bee could avert, began to circulate. Sapwing watched alliances fracture, the very air of the rooftop garden thickening with suspicion and unspoken accusations. The choice was exile or investigation. To let the stranger remain and risk everything, or to challenge him and risk being wrong. Sapwing chose the third path, the forbidden one. Under the cover of a moonless night, he would tap the memory comb, the hive's living record. It was a violation of the highest law, a dive into the collective past that could shatter a bee's mind. He had to know the truth of the copper bee's origin. Alderwing found him at the sacred calm. Relief washed over Sapwing. Here was his ally, his confidant. But Alderwing's antennae were held stiff, his posture defensive. "They told me you'd come here," Alderwing buzzed, his tone cold. "Your curiosity was always a liability." It was then Sapwing saw the faint shimmer around Alderwing, the same distortion that clung to the stranger. His trusted friend was already under the copper bee's influence, a willing agent of the disruption. Alone, exiled by Alderwing's betrayal, Sapwing clung to a rain gutter high above the city. The garden's hum was a muted, hostile thing below him. His wings ached with the strain of defiance. He had failed. The history in the memory comb was a jumbled, terrifying storm of images he couldn't decipher. The stranger's influence was complete, and Sapwing was just one bee, too small, too foolish to stop the silent conquest of his home. In his despair, the fractured memories coalesced. Not a blight, but a bargain. The copper bee was no savior. He was a refugee from a hive consumed by industrial decay, a scout for a colony seeking to transplant itself, to overwrite the Orchardrise lineage and repurpose their gravity-defying magic, not for beauty, but for efficiency. The distortion was a signal, slowly tuning their garden to a new, terrible frequency. The mystery wasn't about a disruption, but an invasion. Sapwing flew not at the copper bee, but at the central comb itself, at the amplification crystal the stranger had secretly grown within it. He wasn't fighting a bee, he was fighting a signal. As the copper bee and a mind-controlled Alderwing dove to intercept, Sapwing channeled the true, pure frequency of the garden's history, the unadulterated song from the memory comb, and unleashed it directly into the crystal, shattering the invasive rhythm. The garden hums differently now. The song is resilient, woven with the memory of the threat it survived. The copper bee is gone, his signal broken. Alderwing, freed from the influence, tends the lavender in quiet penance. They are fewer and wiser. They no longer take their delicate gravity for granted. They patrol the skies not just for pollen, but for echoes of dissonance, a community forever altered, hardened by its victory, but forever conscious of its fragility.